We associate the film industry with immense wealth, red carpets, and carefully constructed prestige. But if you strip away the modern marketing, that polish disappears. In the early 20th century, an aggressive patent trust on the East Coast strictly regulated who could shoot and distribute moving pictures. Independent filmmakers faced constant lawsuits, equipment seizures, and physical intimidation. They had to leave the established centers of commerce. They moved west to California. While the constant sunlight and varied landscapes were highly beneficial for cameras with slow film speeds, the primary draw of this dusty outpost was distance. It was thousands of miles away from the patent lawyers and government oversight. The architects of today's highly structured entertainment monopoly were, at their origin, corporate fugitives hiding out in the desert. Within 3 decades, those dirt roads were paved over by massive, self-contained studio lots. By the 1930s, the disorganized frontier camps had been fully industrialized, complete with standardized labor divisions and aggressive production schedules. The studio executives realized that selling a film was highly inefficient compared to selling a recognizable face. Performers like Charlie Chaplin were packaged and exported to international audiences, establishing the blueprint for the global icon. Public relations departments worked meticulously to conceal the assembly line. They fed magazines stories of overnight discoveries at local diners, masking the reality of grueling multi-year contracts, dictated personal lives, and heavily curated public appearances. The classic cinema of the mid-20th century was the successful beta test of a top-down system. It proved that human appeal could be manufactured on a mass scale. The raw material fueling that manufacturing system is a constant influx of ambitious arrivals looking for screen time. For every individual who secures a speaking role, thousands endure years of casting calls, empty bank accounts, and systemic dismissal. In this economy, extreme attrition is the baseline experience. Notice that raw talent is a small initial input. Moving down, individuals are aggressively squeezed by heavy marketing capital, strict public image management, and sheer market competition. This pressure filters out thousands until a single, highly profitable star is extracted. Decades of obscurity and rejection are not a glitch in the Hollywood system. That friction is a calculated stress test, ensuring only the most resilient properties make it to the final stage of investment. Once those few properties are established, they are plugged into a global financial infrastructure, operating on the scale of national economies. Box office receipts represent only a fraction of the required revenue. A single intellectual property is now leveraged across digital streaming rights, international licensing windows, and merchandising to ensure a return on investment. This scale comparison bar chart shows average production costs stacked directly against the global marketing budgets for modern blockbusters. Studios frequently spend as much capital advertising a film worldwide as they do to shoot the actual footage. To protect investments of that size, studios push visual effects, CGI, and digital filmmaking to their extreme limits. The final product has to look expansive enough to justify millions of individual ticket purchases across dozens of international markets. What appears on screen as creative magic is the output of careful risk management. It is designed to capture the widest possible demographic and guarantee a massive payout. Yet, even with highly optimized revenue streams generating billions, the legacy studio system is currently dealing with severe structural instability. This divergent line chart reveals the threat, the downward trend of theater attendance intersecting with the sharp upward fragmentation of streaming media. The unified audience is splintering. Simultaneously, high-stakes friction between labor and studios, alongside representation debates, forces a complete reevaluation of production. The industry is now operating defensively. A highly centralized, century-old empire is fighting to maintain its cultural monopoly against a wave of decentralized technology. The next wave of tools, artificial intelligence, entirely virtual production volumes, and algorithmically generated storytelling, are already being tested in the production pipeline. This raises an immediate question about the human element. If a studio can render a flawless performance from code, the traditional pipeline of human attrition and discovery could eventually be bypassed entirely. But survival requires flexibility. Since the original migration to the desert, the primary mandate of the studio system has always been to adapt its machinery to whatever ensures its survival. No matter how the product is generated, the end objective remains exactly the same. The machinery only has value if it successfully captures human attention in the dark. The technology will shift, and the delivery methods will fragment, but the entertainment engine will keep running as long as audiences are willing to pay for an escape.